I actually just got done beating The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom on Switch. I don't know how much Switch you've been playing lately.
What one is that?
Okay, so you play as Zelda in this one. It's the first mainline Zelda game where you play as Zelda. The beginning of the game takes place. You play as Link, and you're basically beating a Zelda game. You're Link. You have all your hearts. You got a full sword. You got a arrow or a bow that shoots 3 arrows, and you fight. You do like the end Ganon fight, which I don't remember you playing a lot of Zeldas when we was growing up.
Not really. I think like I remember renting Zelda 2, and I know what the fuck I was doing.
Well,
I was like
about
really
the worst
young.
one to start out with.
Yeah, and
But-
I think I got more into like Majora's Mask. I remember
Oh,
getting
dude,
that for N64
that's my
and
favorite
play
one
that.
still.
Yeah.
But anyways, so if the boss fight's very similar to how the end boss fight with Ganon is in A Link to the Past, the Super NES one, where he appears and then he spins a trident and he throws it at you and there's like fiery bats. But basically, you kill him and then this purple stuff starts spreading everywhere. He gets sucked into it. He shoots an arrow at this like crystal cage that's holding Zelda and it breaks. And then he gets sucked into this pit, and then you're Zelda in this little capsule, and it just says press the A button. So you start pressing A, and then you break out of the cage, and you're Zelda. And then you meet this little kind of spirit person named Tri, and she gives you a staff, and then with the staff, you can learn things like, hey, there's a bed, it's sparkling. You walk over to this bed, and you press ZR, and you'll learn it. Hey, you learned a rickety bed or whatever. So now with that wand, I can make a bed. Now I can climb on that. Oh, I should mention, in a lot of early Zelda games, you had to get flippers to be able to swim. You had to get a feather to be able to jump. You had to, what else do you have to do? We can't run. Well, in this game, right out of the gate, you can jump, you can fucking swim. You can't attack. You don't have an attack. That's the thing. I'll get to that. But
Okay.
Link can't do shit unless he has an item for it, basically. But in this game, Zelda can already jump and swim and do... There's a couple other things she could do that I'm pretty sure you had to have an item for in the other games. And I just thought that was funny because it was like... Zelda has more power than Link in her legs, basically. Like,
She's more evolved.
yeah. But... So anyways, you'll learn certain abilities that you could use with this wand. Not even abilities, just I can build things. But the cool thing is you can summon creatures with that too. Your little spirit person that follows you around, Tri, she has triangles that represent power. And certain things that you cast cost so many of those triangles. And you can adjust, you can get more of those, and you can reduce the cost of some of these summons later. But like, you come across a moblin and then you kill him and a little baby icon of him appears. Then you go and then you can learn it just like anything else, and then now you can summon a moblin and you can direct him to attack things. So you're like, and one of my favorite characters to play in like certain RPGs and stuff is like a necromancer. So I kind of felt like I was playing necromancer because I could like summon a bunch of enemies and creatures and stuff. Not a bunch, but like if you need to set something on fire, there's a lot of really unique ways to solve puzzles in this game, which that's something that's cool about every Zelda game that comes out. But there's just so much that you do just through this wand that makes it really fun. But I thought it was a really good game. I mean, shit. I don't even know what my rating system would be. I'll give it 4 out of 5 stars. It's not a perfect game by any means because it still has classic Nintendo Switch stutter problems where it'll run 60 frames and a fish will jump out of water and it goes to 25 frames a second, you know. And okay, so you know how Majora's Mask, they just reused the assets from Ocarina of Time? That's kind of what they did here with this game. They reused assets from the 2019 remake of Link's Awakening. So it's that same, they're just little like Fisher-Price toy looking characters again. But, and this is still its own, this is not a sequel. If most Zelda games, there is a timeline, but the thing is like most Zelda games are just their own contained thing. It's like you always have the same 3 characters, but they tell the story in different ways every time. So this Link is not the same as this Link. So this game is the same. This game is not a direct sequel to Link's Awakening because no one knows who Link is in this game. They just know he's a hero. But like Link doesn't have... Link goes to rescue Zelda at the beginning just because it's the right thing to do, not because he knows her at all. Like he's just literally a guy that lives in this tiny village that goes and helps people. He can't even talk. Like he literally loses his voice in the game because you know how he never talks. Well, in this game he can't talk because that purple stuff took his ability. Because you would think, well, if I'm playing the Zelda, then I should be able to go and talk to Link, right? Well, they solved that problem by taking his voice away. So I was like, damn it. It's a solid game. I had fun with that. But the only other thing I've been doing, I've been playing the Diablo 4 expansion. It sure the fuck isn't an expansion. It wasn't worth $40. I mean, they were charging $80 for the goddamn expansion for like all the goodies and shit with it. I just got the $40 expansion, but cliff notes for that is story's kind of ass. The cutscenes look good. The things they added 1 class. Most Diablo expansions always added like 2 classes. You would think you'd get 2 classes, but you only got 1. And it's everyone calls it a green monk, but it's a spiritborn. But it's with green, you know. And it's the most overpowered class in the game right now. There's literally... So I know you probably haven't played Diablo 4, but it's real controller friendly. I play it with controller. Even though I also play Path of Exile, I don't play that controller. You fucking almost can't. But Diablo 4 is like super casual friendly, so it's like basically meant for a controller. And you can dash in this game. So like it's like a combat role like in Elden Ring or Dark Souls or whatever. Mm-hmm. You have invincibility frames. There's a build for the Spiritborn where the only fucking button you press is that dash button. And you can dash like every half a second. And when you dash, you're throwing projectiles everywhere that's doing quadrillions of damage. And remember what I just said, you have invincibility frames when you're dashing. So people just running around, mashing the fucking A button, dashing, never dying, and just killing everything. That's the new class that just came out.
Just spam.
It's just, yeah.
But, so, will they, like, nerf it in the future? Do you think they made it the most powerful class to sell the expansion?
That's a kind of a different argument altogether. I think the biggest problem is that will get nerfed, but I think they're gonna wait and they won't nerf it until they see people aren't playing it. Then they'll nerf it because it's like, yeah, it kind of goes with what you're asking. Like they're not gonna nerf. I don't think they'll nerf it now because they know because the Path of Exile 2 beta comes out next month. There's not gonna be one fucking person playing Diablo 4 when that shit drops. There'll be 4 dads playing that shit when that shit comes out. Not this dad, I won't be playing it, but not when Path of Exile 2, and that's the beta. But I like Diablo 4. It's a fun game to fuck around. I play every season, but I usually only play it for 2, maybe 3 weeks. But my biggest problem is that it shouldn't have been an expansion because they come out with seasons, and the season always adds new things. All this really added was a new little landmass it's not nearly as big as the rest of it, obviously. And it added rune words. It added a new class. It added some dungeon. I mean, I shouldn't say it added nothing, but what they added, I don't think justified $40. $30, I think would have been fine. But also, I think it only got 1 expansion. But it came out with the real money auction house, and that was its own debacle. But I don't know. Diablo 4 is a fun, casual game. It's fun to fuck with. Again, like as somebody that works 40 hours a week and only has so much time to devote to games, it scratches my itch. I don't need to have a lot from it. It's not the worst game of all time. It started out pretty shitty, but since its launch, they've gradually fixed it. But I'll probably be done. What's that?
How much was the previous expansion then? You said it came with 2 classes and everything.
Diablo. Oh, okay. So shit. $40, I think. Lord of Destruction in 2000. When did that come out? Lord of Destruction, I think, came out in 2001, and that was $40 in 2001 money. and you got, what did you get? It might not have been $40. It might have been 30. I honestly can't remember, but it just, I mean, Blizzard, ever since Blizzard's been acquired by Activision, all their business practices are just super greedy and predatory.
Oh yeah,
You see it. I play World of Warcraft also, and that, I mean, the what they add to the game is fun, but then you see where they pepper in. Well, okay, it's almost like a cell phone game. You need so much of this currency, but you can only get this much of. We don't want you to have a weekend where your family's out of the house and you can actually geek out and play games all weekend. You're only going to spend because World of Warcraft is one of the only games left that still has a subscription fee. So they're motivated to keep you playing as long as they fucking can. So they put a cap on the things you can earn to get rewards and shit. And that game doesn't respect my time. There's no shit like that on Diablo 4. It's mostly just like once you max level a character in Diablo 4, at least for me, I don't play multiple characters in Diablo 4. I pick one character. It's almost always a fucking necromancer because I just didn't have fun with the other classes. And I'm never motivated to make more than one person. And then I play through the season. And then that's it. I had fun and it's whatever. That's like every 2 or 3 months. But if someone were to ask me, hey man, should I get Diablo 4? Wait till like a battle pack comes out where you can get the base game plus the expansion for $40. Then that game will be worth it. But as it stands now, when the original game came out last year, it had an $80 I think it had a $100 price tag. For, again, this was for like you get all this bullshit. You get like goodies and shit. I got the base version of that as a Father's Day gift. I had no plans of buying it. And then the game came out of the gate sucking pretty bad. They improved it. They did a lot of improvements that has made the game way more fun. But then they come out with this expansion, and it's like, it wasn't worth $40. I'll just say that. So I'm not going to give that a letter grade or anything. But who knows? Maybe some of the stuff I noticed also on the map, there's this big finger sticking out of the map there you can't even go to. So I don't know if that's something. I don't even know if that was there in the original map or if that's going to be something they add in a patch that we don't have to pay for or something. I don't know. But also, the fact that they came out with an expansion a year after the game came out also bugs me, because that means they're going to do this shit every fucking year, try to get $40 out of me. And then they're going to add a blue paladin or some shit and call him a fucking Oath Knight or some stupid shit. And then he's going to have all holy things, but he's not going to be, it's because they had the whole expansion's a jungle theme. So a Spiritborn's like a tribal, and I'm like a predator, but I fight hand to hand. I have eagles and shit, but you won't see anybody doing any of that. They've all found this one button build that some of these streamers have found, where literally you just dash invincibly and then kill everything, literally everything. Anytime there's a world boss, like, because that's another thing too. It's open world, so you come across other players and shit. They're trying to like make it an MMO also, which really doesn't make any fucking sense.
They're just trying to do everything.
I mean, in today's day and age, like, I don't care to play a lot of I play multiplayer games. I don't. It's just that the problem I have is a lot of these games you have to cooperate, and some of these people that I end up playing with are fucking just like, they're either trolling you or they're dumb, so you can't play like a lot of like super competitive stuff. And then it's just, I don't know. I don't like. It's just like when you're trying to teach somebody how to do something. Fuck it, I'll do it myself. It's kind of like that. I'd rather just I want my problem to be me, and if I'm letting anyone down, it's me. So I guess with some of like especially for a Diablo game, because it's like where it's, I don't know. Couch co-op. I miss couch co-op. I just miss that shit. Or even games that kind of cater to that. Every game now is such a time sink, and if somebody else is thinking that you're wasting their time because you did one fucking thing that the internet told this toxic person that you shouldn't be doing, that contributed to their toxicity, then your time is ruined. Now you gotta fucking either now, and plus now your time's gonna get wasted because either this person's gonna sandbag or something, you know. Like that's another thing too. Other people's gameplay has so much of an effect on your gameplay. Like if you're playing League of Legends at a competitive level, and you at Champion Select you didn't let that person ban somebody or something, they'll just run right down the middle of the fucking lane and feed kills to the enemy team, and you literally lost a game at Champion Select. There's fuck all you can do about it. You lost time, you're fucking pissed off, and you lost rank, all because you did something that you was well within your rights to fucking do. It's the same thing in World of Warcraft. People like those timed dungeons I was talking about, where if you beat it at a certain amount of time, your rank goes up, you get better rewards or whatever. But if you go in sometimes, you have to use an item. They call it a key, a mythic key, to be able to do these. And they have numbers assigned to them, a plus 10 key, a plus 12 key or whatever. If you fail a dungeon or you don't beat it in time, it goes down one rank, or it'll just brick it completely. And again, if you go in there and you do some shit some fucking random fuck doesn't like, he bricks your key. He'll just keep and every time somebody dies, you'll lose time on purpose. Like you'll lose 30 seconds or what. I don't remember what it is. So there you go. Once again, too much of your time is wasted just because of other people. So I hate that I can't put myself into. I want to be able to play a goddamn game in a normal environment and not have this shit happen, but the shit doesn't happen. Is basically what my whole long-winded diatribe was. And I don't even remember what the original point was. Diablo. Like, you know, sorry, it gets a little long-winded.
Gaming rant, it's fine.
Diablo is an easy, casual game. It doesn't matter. You can play that shit solo. You don't have to play that game with people. And a lot of games nowadays, it seems like they want you to play competitively, but your own team is worse than the enemies a lot of times.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like they don't try to do anything to curb the toxicity in the community either. So, like, if you can exploit that.
Because these game companies, they don't give a shit. They made their money. And then they call you an asshole for complaining. Now, there are a lot of people that are complaining about dumb shit. I get that. That's for true. But, I mean, I don't know. Video games in general, the whole video game industry has just gone really weird. It's the same for me with music. Like, if I want to find a fun fucking game or good music, I look at indie shit. Like, who's this person? Like, what's this shit? What's this game? This shit looks. I've got a bunch of Steam games that are just awesome as shit. That was just some random fuck I saw. Like, it's always just, oh, here's this. Or sometimes I've found games where people post on Reddit, here's the game I'm working on, and I wish listed it. Then like 3 years later, the game comes out and it's like all over. Oh, there's this game that just came out recently, UFO 50. Have you seen anything about that?
No.
It's on Steam. It's like a collection of 50 mini games, and they act like there's this whole lore behind it. Like all these 50 games belonged to a certain system, and all these games are games that literally just came out. Like it's a new game, but they're acting like they're old games. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it looks cool. I'm looking it up now.
But yeah, it's like I think that game's been being worked on for like 7 or 8 years or some shit. I had that on my wish list a long time ago. And then when it came out, now it's like the darling of the internet right now. And I bought that game, and that game's awesome. It's really fun. But like sometimes you'll just see something on Reddit. There's another game coming out. Do you remember those helicopter games, Desert Strike and Jungle Strike and Urban Strike, where it's like 3/4 overhead? Okay, so there's a guy that's making it's called Cleared Hot. Yeah. And same thing. He put it on Reddit like 3 years ago, and then I put it on my wish list. And then I saw another Reddit post like a week ago, and he said he's got a publisher. So now this game's finally going to come out. I was like, fuck yeah, dude. And it looks awesome as shit. But then it's like half these other games, these AAA games all come out. They all suck dick. Oh no, they're quadruple A games now. That fucking, what was that pirate game that came out? And that guy would say, this is the first quadruple A title. Literally all you do is like mash an A button and shoot a cannon. Like the Assassin's Creed hullabaloo and that Concord shit that went down. And it's just like, what happened to a game being a game? It has to be a live service. You have to sell me shit. Well, we all who Bethesda fucked that up for everybody. And then of course these assholes, now they got all the money, they don't think they got to make a good game anymore. They haven't made one good fucking game except Fallout 4. And a lot of people would say Fallout 4 sucks if you're a Fallout purist, because, well, it's the same with every Bethesda game. Like, you'll have a game and it's awesome, and then every other game they'll dumb an aspect of it down till pretty much it's just press A to jump, press B to attack. There's no RPG elements to it anymore. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. That's hyperbole, but still, that's kind of where they're going. Like, used to, you had a swing attack, you had a jab attack, you had a stab it. Like, you'd have 3 different attacks with them, and in the next game they took out other shit. So it's like there's just so much stuff that they keep removing. And they added horse armor to the game, was my main point. And because horse armor was allowed to be a thing and no one complained about it, that's why gaming's the state we're in today, where everything's a fucking online. You gotta buy shit. And I'm guilty of it. I pay money for this shit. I've spent hundreds of dollars on fucking microtransactions. I'm part of the problem. I happily admit that. I'm not happy that I'm contributing to it. It's just, that's where it's at. But I would rather do that for an up-and-coming developer than, like, Ubisoft. You know?
Yeah.
I haven't played anything else, really.
Yeah. I haven't either. I've been just sticking with the other games, like Marvel Snap and occasionally Helldivers 2. But
yeah, you're on that Snap all the time. I need to get on that.
They do a lot of good to get people into it, where you acquire cards. Like, you know, they drop them series, you know, every like 6 months maybe. So it's easy to acquire like a lot of cards in the beginning.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss an update. If you want to support the channel and get exclusive content, check out our Patreon in the link below.